Dyke being challenged now by Fittipaldi. This is a battle for fourth place. Arie Luyendyk started third here. Look at the serial scoring as he fell backwards and then has been since the pit stop steadily moving back forward in this field.
You know, Luyendyk, of course, shone at Indianapolis where he finished second. And here he is shining again. And, of course, there, as you see Emerson Fittipaldi right there with him, he's had a miserable year, Luyendyk has, everywhere except these super fast tracks.
He doesn't seem, you know, he came from road racing, Sam, and he doesn't seem to like or go fast on road racing at all. He doesn't go fast on the miles. He only goes fast, as you said, on the real fast speedways like here and Indianapolis. And that's not going to be enough to satisfy the car owners. He's going to either have to get it up or he's going to have a hard time finding a ride next year.
Well, the team, of course, is switching to the Renard car away from the Lola. They'll have a new car, all new, next year.
Traffic ahead. We will try and give you more of those graphics that do bring you up to date on an individual car's progress through the field with the serial scoring. Mansell still in front, Andretti in pursuit, but a full 5 seconds back.
Cars are passing all over the racetrack. The passes are happening so fast back in there sometimes. There's little Al. Tracy's right behind him. There's Luyendyk. They're really trying to go for a few positions right now. Some of them realize that that yellow flag came at a bad time for them. And they're trying hard to make up the difference.
Unser Jr. trying to stay in there at the pace, but he is a lap down, running in 13th place right now.
He was the first car that came in on the yellow. Of course, he didn't know it was going to turn yellow and his crew didn't, but nonetheless, he was really bad luck on that one.
Bobby, a lot of speculation on what little Al will do next year. We've got some telemetry from on board his car. I'll give you an idea of what the speeds and the RPMs are coming off of this Chevrolet engine. Flat on the throttle right there. Now
you can see he's backing off quite a bit. Now he's 100%. We're down the front straightaway. Let's go into turn one with him and watch and see what it does here. 100% still, and there's 84, but 24%. Now that's backed off all but about a quarter of the throttle. He's still not on it all the way. Still not on it. There, he's finally got it open. Now, there's where he's losing his speed, and they know this through the telemetry or through the computer systems, Paul. He's having handling problems.
So what's he going to do about it?
There's nothing they can do except try to adjust the wings during the race. But the mechanical setup, like the springs and the roll bars and all, are already set before the race. So he's going to have a hard time the rest of the day.
Gary Gerould, update on Al Unser Jr.
One of the reasons, Paul, that he's battling to get unlapped after they came back to green following the Johansson incident, he cut down a tire. They don't know if it was debris or what, but he had to make an extra stop. It's a heavy price to pay because he had to do it under green.
Emerson Fittipaldi able to move around the 14 car of Robbie Gordon. Now stretches out a little distance. Al Unser Jr. Boy, look how fast he spit.
Boy, he just ran out of air across the front of his wings there for a second. That's scary.
Now you can see on the right side little Al's head, there's the thing that's holding him up like we see Scott Goodyear. Only Scott's is a lot lower. But if these guys don't have something to hold their heads up, they can't do it. There's the guy here strong enough to hold their head up during the whole race.
So 60 laps of the Michigan 500 are now complete. The leader of the race, the second one of the day, is Nigel Mansell. In second place, Mario Andretti, as Roger Penske watches both of his cars. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The Michigan 500 is brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. By Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Back at the Michigan 500, 65 laps of 250, 500 miles complete. Nigel Mansell leads the race, followed by Mario Andretti, his teammate, Raul Boesel in third. Arie Luyendyk now runs in fourth position, and just behind Arie, and now beginning to challenge, is the lead Penske car of Emerson Fittipaldi. Robbie Gordon is running in sixth position now.
Fords occupy 7 of the top 10 positions, but remember, at Indianapolis, 6 of the top 7 were Fords. But the winner was a Chevrolet with Emerson Fittipaldi. And again, Fittipaldi is the high-placed Chevrolet in the mix.
Arie Luyendyk, the red and black 10 car with Emerson Fittipaldi closing in. Speeds on the last lap. They're running right at 216 miles an hour. With the yellow flag, the average speed of the race dropped to 176 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's Emo on the right. There's Luyendyk on the left. They're really trying a lot harder right now than you think they would kind of in the middle of the race. Emo is, of course, like Stan mentioned earlier, really going for the point steal. He can't get caught too far behind Mansell and Mario, so he's really putting the pressure on Leyendyk.
Leaders of the race are just flying. In fact, they're beginning to close on this battle. Only the top 6 cars are on the leader lap now as there goes Fittipaldi.
You can just see what a draft does here. You can see Emo, he pulled up closer. The draft just started sucking him to Leyendyk. Pretty soon he had to whip it to the left to keep from hitting him. That's how much draft you get here.
So Fittipaldi has 4th.
Yes, but as fast as these two men are going, right behind them on the racetrack, just 6 seconds back, is Nigel Mansell, about to put them both a lap down. That's how fast he's going. Here he comes. Those 2 cars of Fittipaldi and Leyendyk are just ahead of him up the road.
Back with the leader, Nigel Mansell, having never raced here at Michigan International Speedway or on any high bank speedway before. We asked Nigel if he'd undergone any kind of special preparation for this race.
I watch film of every single race we go to, and I think the greatest thing that's happened to me before this race is I spent 4 days with a great friend, with Greg Norman and children. And, we had a wonderful number of days fishing and messing around. And that's conditioned me pretty good because I got my mind sort of clear of a lot of things, and I've come here totally refreshed now, and hopefully for the next number of races we'll be able to sort of get back really up to speed and then do some good dogfighting.
He enjoys a very special relationship with golfer Greg Norman.
You know, it's almost as if the pressure of leading the championship, which he has done since Long Beach, he led it, of course, by winning the first race, slipped back of Mario Andretti at Phoenix, and then led the whole way until Emerson Fittipaldi notched him. Now he's like back in the fighting Mansell mode, trying to get back in the lead.
Arie Luyendyk and Robbie Gordon as they battle. Luyendyk's had his problems here today. It is a battle to try and obtain 4th place. Fittipaldi is just ahead of this group. There's Gordon, there's Luyendyk, and Gordon just sailed on past. Now the leaders beginning to line up. Here comes Mansell as he moves around Fittipaldi.
That was what
Fittipaldi down.
That's what Fittipaldi didn't want. That's the reason Fittipaldi wanted so bad to get by Leyendyk a little while ago. But it didn't work, Paul.
I'll tell you, at no time in this season, here comes Emerson down, have we seen a car as superior as Mansell is right now.
Emerson Fittipaldi slowing down, heading for the Penske pits. He pulled off the pace quickly. Luyendyk and Gordon sailed past him in their battle, and now he comes in for a stop. The tires come off. They don't look for the cowling, so it shouldn't be a mechanical problem. Apparently, these tires just went away very quickly on him. The crew checking tentatively at the right rear of the car.
Couldn't see any adjustments. He just needed tires. They most likely changed the stagger on the tires.
Stagger, the relationship of the diameter of the right outside tire to the inside. Why would they have to change that at this point?
They change them all during the race, Paul. As the track changes, the stagger gets changed. Usually they have about 2 to 3 different setups on stagger, which, ironically, during the race is the biggest change that they make, even bigger than the wing changes.
Let's go pit side and Gary Gerould.
Paul, a word from the crew that just serviced Fittipaldi. Emerson felt like something was going away at the back. The crew made a quick inspection while they changed the tires, topped him off with fuel, did not find a problem. He's now back out there. We'll see how it handles from here.
Well, of course, with the possibility of a tire problem or some kind of suspension or chassis problem hanging over your head on this very fast and dangerous track, you're probably smart to come in even if it drops you down a little bit.
Nigel Mansell with Arie Luyendyk, the 5th place car just ahead of him. And very quickly, I suspect, Luyendyk will go a lap behind the leader of the race.
Well, Mansell, for example, just a few laps ago, there he goes right by Luyendyk. It makes it look awfully easy, even though they're both Fords. But he just turned 225 miles an hour when his fuel tank was still kind of full. Now, that's good speed with a full load of fuel. Not exceptionally good when it's kind of empty, but full, it's a bunch of speed.
He's running laps at 221 miles an hour right now. And then they call him Lionheart, the Italians, El Leone. He is so strong. He comes here within just a few laps. All of a sudden, he's running at record pace. and Raul Boesel, who now runs in third place. Jack Arute has an update.
Well, Paul, yesterday after the final practice session of the day, Raul Boesel came in and told his car owner, Dick Simon, let's change engines. No particular reason. He said, I just had a feeling. Well, what they found out after they changed the engine is it totally upset the balance of the car. When they started this race, they had a terrible push. They've continued to make adjustments, and now Boesel has radioed in that they feel that they have got the car back to the way it was performing yesterday, and they feel now they can quicken the pace and try and chase down the lead duo.
Why would changing an engine upset the balance?
Well, because Paul, what happens sometimes when you drop a new engine in, what happens is the balance from right to left changes just minutely. Bobby Unser could probably tell you more about that.
Well, Jack, you're absolutely right. What happens is the engine is actually part of the frame. And so the holes, when they put them in, there comes Tracy in. The holes on the engine don't line up just exactly like they did on the other one. If you were only off 2 to 3 thousandths, it would make the difference that Jack was talking about.
Paul Tracy into the Penske pits. One would presume that this is a little early, too. We're on the 77th lap. He last stopped on lap 41. You would guess he could get into the 80s. But perhaps he's suffering some of the same problem that Fittipaldi felt earlier. We'll try and update you on that. Clean stop, fuel, tires, and Tracy back to the fight.
Yes, and again, it doesn't seem to be any mistakes made. Penske has game plans when he starts his pits, when he starts his race.
More work in the Penske pits coming as Fittipaldi is coming back in.
That just definitely has to mean that Emmo's got a problem. And when Emmo says he has a problem, it's not an act. He really has something wrong with this race car.
You're suggesting that some guys might be acting when they come in?
Oh, we've always questioned some of them come in, Paul. They feel things. It looks like what they're going to do is look at it, do some adjustments on the front wings, send him back out. It's really loose from what we heard from the last pit stop.
Whatever it was more than tires and stagger. Look at them pulling. They're checking all the suspension members, especially with this track and all the stress put on them, right?
Well, that's right, Paul. What I started to say is that around here you go so fast that a guy feels there's something wrong. He can't tell the mechanic exactly what it is. And if you ever rode with them and saw how fast 230 miles an hour is around this track, you'd know why they have to come in and check it.
Yeah, and of course the point is that unlike a road racing course where you can get to a slow turn and kind of kick it around a little bit, here you can't do that anywhere.
Bobby Rahal, 9th place. You're right on the nose of his car as he comes in for his pit stop. And you saw that the Newman-Haas team was laid out for both of their cars. Mario is already into the pits. And just listen here. They're waiting for Nigel. And beginning to wave him down. Remember, he had problems at Indy with these high-speed pit stops. Let's go to Gary.
They're changing stagger on Mario's car as he gets away in about 15 seconds. Now Nigel is in.
Whoa.
No problem as they went out between
Mario's
these two.
spun coming off the pits.
Oh,
He's now
Mario
reversed.
right in front of us.
Mario spins it around again. Whoa!
Keeps it running, Paul. And the crowd has gone crazy because he kept it running. Now Mansell, who had a good look at it, leaves.
Now let me tell you.
Wait a minute. I want to tell you that was spectacular.
Yes, it was, Paul. Now that was a good piece of driving. That was a good piece of thinking. Don't ever think that Mario's over the hill when he can think and react that quick.
Remember when he and Michael had a similar thing happen? Look at that. Locks him up.
Now watch, though.
He's got the clutch in, though.
He can't turn the car around otherwise. So look what he did, just like he was on water or on the snow, and lit perfectly. Now that's really some credit for him.
Remember, he used to be able to do that on those Formula One tracks where the guardrails are on both sides of narrow streets. You have room here, but he showed his skill.
Not that I'm suggesting he should retire, but should he ever? He's got a place as a stunt driver. There's no question about it.
Well, you know, Paul Newman raced in the Trans Am the other day. He's 68, and he said to Mario, I did okay. Mario said, you know, I think that just extended my career 10 years.
Now look at all 4 wheels are locked up. Now watch him kick the clutch. He revs the engine up, pops the clutch. He knows where to quicken. He releases the brake, releases the power. Now he takes off again. I'm telling you, that guy knew exactly what he's trying to do. And he was in desperation.
Yeah, that's kind of a bootleg turn. He'd be good at parallel parking or, you know, escaping the run runners.
I'll tell you what. The officials have looked over that one, scratched their heads, checked the rule book, and they say it's legal. No problem. So Nigel Mansell makes his stop, gets in and out. The lead, Arie Luyendyk is in. Gary Gerould.
Well, everybody at this end of the pits still collecting their breath after the Mario dramatics. Luyendyk's crew now. They're in the first pit, closest to pit out, servicing Luyendyk. He had inherited the lead when the others came in. He's away with a routine stop, and boy, he lights up the tires as well.